Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name is Astøn, and I'll be your host for today's episode of Lost Culture's Power Season 4, Episode 8, It's Done, Recap. So let's jump right into it. Ghost. So we see Ghost have to talk Tommy off the ledge this episode. We see he's dealing with Proctor. He got the whole hemenz little situation he's just dealing with, and he had to deal about Dre the whole time. So we see he finds out that Mike has been sued. Well, not been sued. But Mike has been charged with the murder of Greg. We seen he actually had a conversation. We actually had a conversation with Proctor, and we see during that conversation with Proctor, he accuses Proctor of hiding evidence that could basically be used as leverage in case he did get pulled into the whole Bailey murder suspect thing. We see he actually sets up the murder or plans the murder with Ghost and Tommy for Mike. So we see that whole scene, and I was confused about that scene because I was trying to figure out, was Tommy talking about Proctor or was Tommy talking about someone else? When he's talking about, oh, we can't trust him, because we still know Proctor wasn't in the room yet. And he's like, oh, are you sure we can trust him? And once Proctor gets there, Tommy gives him that look, and it just goes on from there. So we ended up finding out that we don't know if Ghost and Tommy can actually trust Proctor, especially after what we see at the end of the episode. We see Proctor hiding the laptop, Bailey's laptop, with the recording about Lobos, and that's going to be, that's that wild card. I don't know how that's going to play out, because right now no one's really in the situation. Like, no one's really caught up to a point where they might need that. But there's no reason for them to show that if that wasn't going to turn back up. Now, going on from there, we see that that during the hemenz thing, we see Diego basically was this cool, pulls the gun out, and we see Ghost is actually able to reason with the sister and get everything figured out, buy some time to figure out if they're need to stop Tommy from going to war. He about another 24 hours, and they get all that figured out. Another thing we got to see was the meeting between Ghost and Councilman Tate. And we see in that same situation, we see Dre just randomly pop up. And Ghost is not too fond of that situation. Ghost is not fucking with Dre just showing up to random business meetings and things of that nature. Ghost is not with that foolishness. So going on from there, we see Ghost actually hems up Dre for showing up to the meeting without letting him know. He tells him, let him know next time anything happens. And we see Ghost kind of does the same thing with Proctor. He does not like Proctor meeting up with Mock. He tells Proctor, anytime Mock shows up to your house, call me and let me know what it was said and what's going on. Because Ghost is not playing these games with them this episode. Now, moving on from there, let's keep going. Let's stay on Ghost. We see even Ghost actually sees Tariq walks into the house. Tariq. We see he's over there having a little conversation with Councilman Tate. And Tariq basically asks him about that school that Reina was talking about. And I want to see how that turns out. I want to see if he's actually going to go or not. So, moving on to Tommy. Tommy had his own problems this episode. He had mom problems. He had dad problems. He had drug business. Boy, Tommy had it all going on. We see he's actually asking his mom questions about his dad now. His mom is steady lying to him the whole time. And we see that even when he leaves the house, she's thinking about, damn, I can't believe I had to lie to him. And we see once Tommy goes to go see Tony's dad, Tony's wife, whatever. We see Tommy finds the picture there of him and Tony together. He uses that when he talks to his mom later on, and she still lies to him. She blatantly lies to his face, oh no, he left us. Even though we find out in this episode multiple times that, oh, we agreed that you wouldn't be in Tommy's life. And Tony even told Tommy that a couple episodes ago last episode, that him and his mom agreed. that they would not, he wouldn't see him. But at this point in his life, Tony doesn't really care. He just wants to know his son. So we see, I feel like with Kate lying to Tommy, that's just going to put even more divide there, because there's no way Tommy's not going to find out that they both mutually agreed that Tommy shouldn't be in his life, because Tony already came clean about that part. Now it's only Kate who's lying about it. Kate saying he abandoned them, and Tommy sees that Tony's really trying to be in his life. We see he's trying to do whatever it takes to be in Tommy's life, because when Tommy calls him about Mike, it was no questions asked. It was just done. Like, there was no questions asked. Your family, we'll get it solved while we're here. And it's funny, my favorite part was when Tony and Tommy had that bonding moment, and he's like, "And you're calling for fatherly advice. All I can tell you is never play cards with a man whose first name is the name of a city." And we see them both just laugh at that. Even I laughed at that, because it was pretty funny. But we see that situation going on. We see these two are actually bonding. We see Tommy's talking about, he's thinking about the whole thing for a redhead, like, oh, I am kind of like my dad. And we see Tommy is really heated about the situation, that his mom's been lying to him all of his life about his dad. Now, I kind of see both sides of it. Like, no mom wants to tell their son that their father's in jail for murder, in jail for life for murder, and you don't want to. She probably want to take her kid to a jail cell, basically to a prison, to see his dad in those circumstances. So the best bet of two was to be, oh, your father died. He wasn't a bad man. He just died. So with him visiting somebody in jail, like, oh, he's a bad person. He did some bad things. And she probably didn't want to put him through that. So I understand that situation. But at the same time, as a boy, you always want to know who your dad is. Like, and he had a chance to know his dad, but his mom took that from him. So yeah, that's a sticky one. Now, moving on to Dre. Dre's getting so deep in trying to clean up his own mess that he doesn't realize he's getting over his head. Like, he's definitely getting over his head. Because fooling Tommy is one thing, but fooling Ghost is a whole nother one. And I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. I don't even know if after this episode, I don't even know if Dre's going to make it out of this season. That's like the bigger question. Like, I don't know how it's going to work out. Maybe Tommy might get another promotion. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, could we see Tommy they gave Tommy access to the ports in LA. So, boy, and Dre doesn't even want LA. He wants to be only in New York. We see he recycled the Tasha line from like season 1. I want to be the biggest drug dealer in New York. And no, it's not like, yes, it's like a big thing to strive for, but he had a chance to go straight. He had a chance to, he's actually doing good at being straight with the whole business connections. He is building up these legitimate connections for business, but that's not where his heart is. His heart is in drugs, making quick dollars and everything. He doesn't want to be a straight line businessman. And I hate that. We see he's much more Kanan. He has way more Kanan in him than he does Ghost. Yes, he's cutthroat, but he's way more Kanan than he is Ghost. I said he's way more Kanan than he is Ghost. That's how I personally feel. Even though Kanan and Ghost were both cutthroat, Ghost just strived to be more of a businessman, more legit, and Kanan just strived to be more of street dude. He was more to the street side of it than Ghost was. So that's why I said I think he's more Kanan than he is Ghost. But we see Dre has to cover up everything he did with the whole situation. And at the same time, he doesn't want to cross the Toros because they helped him out get the position he in. They actually are loyal to him. So for him to stop this war, it would have been bad for him to go to this war. So with that going on, we got Reina. Reina's talking to Tasha about actually being transferred to the school in Connecticut, and to see how because she doesn't want to be like we seen in the last episode. She doesn't want to be in the whole like drug thing. She wants to be away from that. Everything crumbles down, and she didn't tell her mom that. But we see Tariq is like he's paying attention when she asked that question, and when the bruise comes up, she's like, "Oh, I bumped into somebody," instead of saying Tariq did it, and I kind of respect that. Going on from there, I guess we'll hit up Tariq. Tariq. Tariq sitting right there. He's kind of eavesdropping when Keisha and Tasha is talking, which I didn't understand why they were talking in front of Tariq for. But we got that situation going on. He's there when Reina comes into the room, and he ends up going back into the B&E game. We see he actually gets the lady to open the door, act like he's a swimmer. And then Brains and whoever the other guy is come break in, and they're giving him a big up, like, yeah, good job. And they tell him to leave. They give him out. And Tariq does not take it. He actually goes upstairs, and he witnessed them about to rape the lady that they broke into the house. And he yells out Brains' name. In that situation, I knew what was going on. I was surprised they shot the lady first. I definitely thought they were going to shoot Tariq first. I thought Brains would have shot Tariq first. And after the way it played out, I don't even think Brains was going to even kill Tariq after that. I think he's going to kill Tariq now, but after that, I don't think he's actually playing, because he was hitting up Tariq like, hey, where you at, what happened, everything cool, but Tariq never responded, whatever. So Tariq dug himself in the hole right there. He's definitely another dread. Like, he dug himself into the hole right there too. He should have just left, and everything would have been cool. Like, everything would have been a lot better. And now he's at home. We see he lies to Ghost, and now he's trying to get to Connecticut also. He's trying to go to that school, and hopefully he gets out of this situation. Moving on from there, we're going to touch on Mike. Boy, Mike. So, Mike, R.I.P. Mike. We see he's down for the murder business. Donovan catches on to what he was about to do. We see Donovan's talking to Angela and Sax about it, like, oh, he went to my house. He thought I was going to be there alone. Luckily, I was here with you. He told my daughter not to tell me. Which is like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for Mike to do that. Mike shouldn't have just said nothing. Mike, he gave way too much information to the kid. He just told him, oh, I was looking for your dad. I'll just call him on his phone. And he could have just said he forgot to call him. But no, Mike gave his whole little spiel. I know your dad had custody. What do it matter if he had custody or not? But we see that happens. We see he's talking to Sax, because him and Sax had that whole plan to throw Donovan under the bus. And they haven't really been talking, because we know where Sax is lying, or where Sax is at. Sax is with Angela and Donovan. So we see Sax is kind of like, he plays it super cool though, where Sax is like, oh, yeah, you know I'm still with you. I'd be in contact with you. And he even tells him, like, I haven't even talked to Mark yet by himself. Now I think he really hasn't, but Mike is being real paranoid just due to the fact that, Mike is out here laying people down, and he's not trying to go to jail for that. So that whole situation was played smoothly. Then we see again when they meet up for the second time, Sax and Mike. They're having the drinks and everything. Once Sax spills like the beans and everything on, I couldn't tell where Sax was in the situation. I didn't know he was to the point where he didn't understand. He was still with Mike or not. But we see how that turned out. When we go back to let's just move on to Angela. We see Angela and Mike having a whole conversation. When Mike shows up, Angela just playing it super cool. We see she's walking around like, damn. Like, Angela is a whole nother beat. Like, Angela loves putting herself in the center of danger. We see she even risked Sax and Donovan trading on her when she pulls the phone out. Like, obviously, there was no way to believe her about the phone or anything. The whole situation was already pointed at her once about her being the mole. So now she has this phone and everything. Yeah. And we see she's able to break it down why it's Mike between everything. Obviously, she was pushing it and everything, but we see Mike takes the bait. He actually ended up confessing that he's Lobo's rat, and we see he's getting ready to put her down. I don't understand why he wanted to shoot her in the back. Like, you already shot one person in the front. There's no reason why not to do the second person. Now, we see she gets the shot off. She gets it clear. She pulls the wire out. And she tells him how to get out of it. And I'm like, damn, she really trying to cover for herself right here. Because we see when he brought up the fact that, oh, I have dirt on you too. We see that's when she tried to flip the game and everything. And Sax is there. He's like, oh, Sax wants to know more. Sax wants to know more. Sax definitely going to start investigating Angela now. He's going to try to figure out what all she knew. And we see when Angela goes to Silver and tells her about Mike being held, what goes on from there. Now, I got to see. For that situation right there, I got to give Angela the power move of the week. We see she goes in to the lawyer. She's kind of still mad at Ghost, so she gives the information to his lawyer and made sure his lawyer gave it to his other lawyer and to him. She crossed both her she checked off both boxes to make sure that James got all the information he needed about how to put him down. She gave him time, she gave him location, she gave him everything. And then back to Mike, once he is arrested, we see Mike. It might be a tie this week. Even though Mike died, I'm gonna give the power move to Mike too. We see Mike gets out of getting getting really charged, getting immunity due to the fact that he knows Mock's character. He knows Mock's weaknesses and he tells him what he's gonna do. He tells him, like, look, either you make me a witness or I'm just gonna lie and say everything I've been doing for my whole career has been for Lobos. And then you will in turn lose your career because you have to worry about all this other stuff that you have to clean up from this case. And we see Mock was not having that. Mock is not about to throw his career away just so he can get one arrest. Even though he wanted it, he rather like a hero than to go have to do all this extra work and not get what he actually wanted. He definitely wasn't going to be in front of any more cameras or anything. His whole career was going to wrap around the Mike Sandoval case, and he was not looking for that. So I got to give, it's going to be two power people this week. It's Angela and Mike, and you got to do it. Now, my next person we're talking about is Tasha. I know y'all hate when I drag Tasha, but somebody got to do it, man. Tasha was reckless this episode. Why is she talking like that in front of Tariq? In front of the kids, period. It doesn't make sense. Why the hell is she having oh, me and Ghost only doing this for them? I understand that Tariq has a little bit of information about what's going on. He knows he's not into the darkness, but he doesn't need to know every in and out of what's going on in the situation, especially with your marriage or whatever. Tariq didn't need to know all that information. Tasha is mad reckless for that. Even Keisha was looking at her side-eyed, yeah. That was a problem to me. We see her and Silver are still doing their little thing. I don't see this turning out too well for either one of them. Silver gets jealous every time little Ghost and Tasha's stuff comes up. We see she's not really in that situation. She like him. He doesn't make enough money for her. We see when Ghost would start getting his first legit checks from the club and everything, she wasn't really feeling that. So that's not where Tasha is. Tasha is not about to let that slide. Tasha is all about the money and her lifestyle. She's not about to lose that. That's so she can be with this dude. Moving on to the next time, you got Tony. I respect Tony. We see Tony doing what he can for his son. He's still locked up. And he tells Kate, just because I'm locked up, don't mean I'm not with the shits. Because we see Kate come there threatening him about the whole situation, tells her she's going to go to his wife. I'm pretty sure his wife isn't dumb, and I'm pretty sure she knows what's going on with Tommy by now. She definitely understands. She knows what's going on with Tommy by now. She's not dumb. She might not know exactly what's going on, but she has her suspicions. She's not. That's obviously she knows what's going on with Tommy and Tony. So I don't know why Kate is doing this, why she's so concerned about her grown son hanging out with Tony, or at least knowing his dad. At this point, it's too late. Tommy's already who's Tommy's going to be. Tommy's already reckless. Tommy's already a hothead. Tommy is Tommy. So regardless if he's with Tony or not, Tommy is Tommy. Moving on to Silver. Silver doesn't even realize he's being played. He's being played. He's Tasha's escape pawn, and for Angela, he was just I don't know, just like someone to pass a message for her. And we see Angela got what she wanted through Silver, and Silver doesn't even realize that. This dude Silver, like, he's so like, yeah, he's super like slimy. And then he's like talking to Ghost after he smashed his wife, whatever. Like it's all cool. This boy Silver is super grimy. Now, going on from there, we see John decides to take his career over the whole Mike situation, and I don't know how that's going to turn out. Going on the Sax. Sax had a lot of role play. I didn't know whose side he was on this episode. I know he was on Mike's, like he was on Angela's. We see he actually ended up choosing Angela, but that's not for too long. We know he's not really like fucking with Angela like that. Is more out of a joint purpose right now why he's fucking with Angela. I feel like that little information he got from Mike about her being dirty, he's going to track that down. He's going to try to find out the source of that information, what Mike has on her, and how he can figure out what's going on. And that's really all we have for our characters. Now for my prediction, I don't think Tariq or Reina is going to make it to that school. I see Tariq is going to be in danger. I don't know why he didn't go to Ghost. I'm hoping he goes to Ghost. That's one of my things. He's going to go to Ghost and hopefully have Ghost fix that situation for him. Tommy and Tony are going to continue to get closer. That's definitely going to have some ramifications between him and his mom. Him and his mom are going to end up growing apart. But we always see him and his mom always have these situations where they're on and off, and they're on and off. Now, Proctor is going to find himself in a situation where he's in between a rock and a hard spot. I feel like he's definitely going to be getting killed before the end of the season. I don't know if it's going to be by Ghost's hands or Tommy's hands. We know Tommy doesn't trust him. Ghost doesn't trust him. Neither one of them going to trust him, and that's what's going to force that laptop to resurface again. Silver, don't know how that's going to turn out. I just know that's not going to turn out well for him. I don't feel like he's going to die or anything. He's just going to have a bad situation taste in his mouth just from the whole Tasha situation. Keisha, she's not really fucking with Tasha right now, and that's going to be an issue. I don't know, something's bad going to happen between those two, and she knows about the money thing. I feel like she's going to be the person who gives Ghost that information about what really happened with that money. Going on from there, Dre. I don't see this turn out too well for Dre. Dre might survive the season. I don't think he will, but he's probably going to survive the season, and he's going to be set up as the bad guy for like next season. I feel like he's being promoted to that bad guy for next season, unless he ends up changing, like rolling over on the hemenz group cartel. Because we see Tommy has access to the ports in LA, so Tommy don't really need them for what he got going on. Once he get the LA ports, he's good, and that's going to help out with Dre wanting to take over New York, because Dre like face kind of lit up and talking about he took out Lobos, and Tommy was supposed to be expanded to LA. So we might get Tommy in LA, Dre in New York, and that's what I like to see. I like to see how that turns out. But beyond that, let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen with Dre? Were you feeling how the way Dre was playing both sides of the map? And do you think Angela was right in the way she went through with the kill? And tell me what you think about Tariq's situation. How would you address the situation if you was Tariq? And thank you guys for tuning in. As always, stay lost.